First off, so can y'all hear me now?
That is much better.
All right, so hello all, welcome to my class. This is my interpretation on runes. If you don't know what runes are, let me reach into my pocket. I have my beginner and intermediate sets. I will not be using this unless I'm doing rune readings, so that's out. These lovely little click clack of rocks when I get my hands with all the runes turned around. Oh, these are runes. What do we use runes for? Well, some use it for readings, some do it for daily draws, and it just depends on the person and depends on the aspect of the person. What we will be learning about there is, I think, like 20 something, not counting the Odin rune. And this is an Odin rune. It is completely blank. But the rune that we will be learning about is Berkana. You have it on your Bluetooth. Looks like that. Just like the Bluetooth symbol. Now, Berkana is spelled Berkana. Berkana. It represents growth, and if it is reversed, it is used for a warning. If I am not mistaken, hold on one second. Let me pull up my book. One thing you need to know when you start rune reading, always carry that book because if you don't do it right, the gods will let you know. Growth, it's rebirth. Berkana is the birch tree. It is a cycle rune. It represents fertility, fosters growth in both symbological and actual growth. The growth may occur in affairs of the world, family matters, relationships, and the self, or to the divine. Arcana leads to blooming and ripening. Repeat.
No, it was an audio thing.
Okay. Uh, Arcana is concerned with the flow of being to their new forms. It's a gentle, penetrating, and persuasive. Yeah. The issue with Bracana is telling you to be a consider your issues with the care and awareness first. Surprise resistance with accomplish the works. Um, you must be clear and in control. Your will must be clear and control, and your motives correct. Any dark concerns should be cleansed. This must be raised out, carried out diligently, and sometimes with expert help. Modesty and patience and fairness and generosity are called here. The resistance, once the resistance disappears, the reflection carried out, the sense of hold firm through steadfast and right attitude. Blossoming will occur. But Bracana also has a reverse. So, two sides of the coin. Let me pull out Bracana again. When Bracana is facing that way, it is not reversed, but when it's facing that way, it is reversed. And reverse could be simply as a warning. Um, it can be you. Events are more likely aspect of the character interferes with growth of new life. So it's stunted growth basically. It could be anything. It could be something as mild as you might not get the job to something that could be like you messed up severely. But it is stunting the growth. You'll feel dismay at falling and taking and failing to take the right action. But rather be dismayed about that, diligence is called for. Um, a role in what you need, the needs of others, or you placing your wants before the needs of others. You need to strip that away until you identify the obstacles of growth. So basically, it's obstacles in your way. It could, like I said, it could be anything small or major. That is to the eye of the beholder. So, anybody got questions? Um,
Yes.
anything? Go ahead.
The way it showed up on my screen, anyway. If it's normal, it should look like a B, correct?
Yes.
And if it's reversed,
It should be
it's a
facing
backwards
that
B.
way. Yes. And the backwards B could be anything from a small little thing to a humongous thing. Like, I think the last time I did a rune reading on myself with Berkana, something really bad happened. I won't go into detail, but it hurt the family. As in, what it called for as a hey, be diligent because there might be some bad news, and we got some real bad news. Any other questions?
I'll have some more before you're finished.
Hmm?
I will have some more before you're finished.
Okay, but basically, what the runes represent the Norns, um, fates, whatever you call them. It could be the gods speaking to you through the Norns, through the runes, and it could be talking to you, or if you decide to do, say, somebody else, which I advise you not to until you know all the runes. You could be used as a voice for somebody. Like, I know for a fact that these runes, the runes that I have, and that the ones that are actually the ones that I used to read, one guy got 3 reversed runes, and it was a horrible, horrible, horrible hate for that poor gentleman. Well, for that guy. He ended up losing his wife, his kids, his family, his house, everything. So it can be really, really good or really, really bad depending on the question that you ask or something like that. My advice: don't ask anything you don't want the answers to. Um, but yeah, Berkana is a birch tree. Is the symbol of a birch? Is the birch tree? Mm. Does anybody else have a question or any other questions that might pop into your head?
My questions, other than with the rune that you just taught us,
Berkana?
it yes is if somebody were if people were to make their own rune, it
Um, in any nut tree will work, but ash and elm are the most powerfulest. But there is something more powerful than that. But it's bone, and it depends on the bone too. It could be an animal bone that would work. I would. I mean, If you follow a more darker path, there's that, you know, that's a different story for a different time.
Mm-hmm.
But any nut bearing tree could do it. I had a buddy that had dogwood. I had another buddy that had oak, or not oak, walnut. It just depends on how well you know the tree and how well you know the runes and how comfortable you are in doing your first rune set. Because I know my first rune set wasn't pretty. I basically had to throw them all away because I messed them all up. But back then, I didn't know what the runes were. So that was me. See, I've been what they call thrown into the deep sea. I have been told, hey, you need to get yourself some runes. I've done runes. I was doing rune rings before I knew what the runes were, which was a bad thing. And it has came back to bite me tenfold. That being said, now that I somewhat know what the runes are and what they do, I have had precise rune readings. I have had precise rune like daily runes. So, but that's for another story, another time. But any nut bearing tree, you can make it out of clay. I've heard you can make it out of um other things, other materials, but it depends on the person and the caster.
Because I know I've looked and I've seen where I can purchase stuff to make them out of resin.
Resin.
Yes, I can make resin
If you know
runes.
how to, if you know how to do that, please send me some.
Okay.
It
That
would be, it would be, it would be a novelty for me. It's one of those. Hey, I got a rune set of this. I got a rune set of. It's one of those things that I'm a big fan of. I love runes. I love what they mean. I love what you can do with them, and I also despise what you can do with them too.
well, that also falls into the, with the intentions behind your questions, everything as well.
It's
Would
not just intentions; it's also the knowledge and the know-how of the runes. And like a lot of people say, it's just strictly intention. At to some people, yes. To people that don't know what they're doing, I can't say that because I know I used to say, "Oh, it's all about intentions." Look what happened to me when I did it with all about intentions and not knowing the runes. I
mhm.
had bad luck for about a year and a half. I
um
had to correct my mistakes.
if let's say if I were to make somebody a set of runes, when I
Okay.
make them, would I literally just make them and go ahead and put them in a bag and never try to cast them
Oh,
myself
oh
first?
no, 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 no. Before you do any rune casting, you gotta know what the rune is. So, for example, if I'm doing Gibo, which is gift, I would be making the rune, and I would be I would be saying Gibo, gift, Gibo. I mean, you would have to repeat it because you're putting everything that you know about that one thing into it. Like if I did just Gibo and gift, I could gift you with a good luck or I could gift you with bad luck. But you gotta know what type, what it means. Like with Berkana, it'll say growth, strength, um, rebirth, stuff like that. You have to know what it actually is and what alphabet it is. Like if it's an A or a B or a C or a D.
Hmm.
So you have to actually put a lot of know-how into the runes to become a rune caster or a rune master.
Right.
Depending on who you
I
depending on who
get
you ask.
I get that. What my question was, like I said, if I was to make the resin ones that I
Okay.
spoke of, those literally all I would be doing is painting the rune because it's already impressed in the resin. So as long
Then
as, especially since myself, I am not knowledgeable yet.
okay. Um if I were you, do not use black coloring at all.
Huh?
Like that is my serious warning. Don't use black. Um, paint it red. Uh, but if you make the runes, and you put them in a bag and you seal them away, that's one thing, and you give them as a gift. But if you use them as a caster and you're using putting your energy into these runes,
Mm-hmm.
and then say I put my energy in my beginner rune set, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I gave it to somebody. They have to cleanse that knowledge, and they have to learn that knowledge, and then they have to do what I did.
Well, that that
Uh,
that answers the question. I can make them and gift them to somebody, and as long as I don't cast them, they're essentially
you're
virgin
good.
runes.
Yes, you gotta have virgin runes because if you give somebody a casted rune, like runes have been casted on, you have to do the cleansing. You have to do air. I mean, it's a whole different ball game. Some will
Okay.
say it's just simply as putting ash. If you know what you're doing, it's more complex than just throwing sage or putting them in moon water or something like that. You actually got to know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would rather just have a virgin set if you're going to do it because putting another person's energy in that could be bad. It could taint the runes. I mean, some people are okay with sharing runes. I am not.
Is that more of a superstitious thing with it, or just
Personal
a
choice.
simple fact that you've seen too much bad mojo essentially in them when that happens?
A little bit of both. I've seen some bad mojo with people tainting runes. I've had a friend that I went to festivals where people are like, oh yeah, I casted this. Well then, I've used them once, but here you go. No, I want a no. I've seen enough mumbo jumbo from people using casted runes that weren't beginners, and I've seen the outcome, and it ain't pretty.
Okay.
It's basically tainting. It's cross contaminating knowledge and magic,
Okay.
so to say.
And both of which I know nothing about.
Um,
That's where these classes will come in handy.
yes. See, this is my beginner set. I don't mind, sharing my beginner rune set. This, on the other hand, is intermediate. I'm not going to share it with you. I'm going to tell you to get your own set, or you can use my beginner set. These I won't share. Um, that's just one of those things. Especially if a intermediate or a master rune caster shares their set, they don't know the repercussions that can happen.
Now, are both of your sets essentially the same? You just have the one
No,
that okay, fair enough.
this is made from a different tower material than this. These are rocks. These are made from flat stones. Um, hold on, let me pull them out. Um, yeah, these are simple little flat stones.
Okay.
Literally nothing about them. Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of rocks, so I'm a rock collector. So it's pretty, but I don't mind sharing my beginner rune set with people.
And you called the other one the Odin Stone,
Oh, you want to see the Odin stone? Yeah.
and that
Hold on one
that
second.
was well. I'm looking. I there it is, and that is the unknowable. Is the Odin
I'll get to
Stone
that. Yes, I'll get that. I'll get on that one when I get onto the Odin stone.
right? And that
Right
one,
now, I'm
that one looks interesting. I was asking because I heard you call it the Odin Stone. It was the blank one, and
yes.
I wanted to make sure that was the same.
That you heard right. You heard right. It is the Odin stone, or in some people they call it the uh, Odin or the unknowable, because the only one that knows it is Odin. Odin don't share secrets sometimes. It happens, and yet Ymir's more knowledgeable than Odin because of Ymir's well. the well of infinite knowledge.
I do believe that's
Um,
all my questions right now.
this rune set though is made from ash or elm. I forget which one, but it was either ash or elm. And these ones are actually activated. These ones are not.
Okay.
I'll get to that in another lesson. That that is kind of one of those you don't need to know right now because well, I mean, if you want to know, I will tell you, but I would advise you not to do it
Right. Yeah.
until you know all the runes.
And I can't
But
speak for everybody else or anybody who will watch this recording in a later date. Uh, Me personally, I want to
mm,
wait until I've learned more before I get any of that. That way, I have that knowledge that can
so that
go
you
with
don't have the
the
backfire like
intentions
I
as
did.
I go.
I'm just trying to make sure y'all don't get the backfire that I got. It sucked. Like I know a lot of people be like, that's superstitious mumbo jumbo. No, it's not. It just depends on the person. Me on the other hand, I didn't know my knowledge when I started rune reading, and I paid for it like horribly. Um,
Hmm.
runes can be scary. Runes can be very intimidating. There are some people that say no, it won't. But yes, if you are somebody who actually cares and worries about their well-being and the well-beings of others, you learn to worry about being a rune reader and not knowing all the runes. It's one of those. Have you ever heard of Russian roulette?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not knowing the runes and rune reading is Russian roulette.
Okay.
Best way to explain it. You're either going to shoot yourself or shoot somebody. So that's why I say learn your runes. Trust me, it's going to take a few months, a few years, but you'll learn them, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is Gibo. Oh yeah, this is Studiz. Oh yeah, this is Dagaz. I mean, you'll learn all that. It's just y'all got to be patient with me because uh learning certain reversed runes, it's bad. It gets scary, especially if you're doing stuff like binding runes and stuff like that. And that's on a later date.
I was gonna say I'm not even gonna ask what that one is because I know it'll come later.
Yeah,
But I
no,
know me and you
this
have
is for
spoke
those.
about that a little bit.
Yes, and I have been happily to I was and I've been happy to help you in any way that I can. I mean, yeah, y'all have helped me out a lot too with learning y'all.
Um,
So far, Rooster, you're one of the more chilled out guys. Leonic, he's kind of that one guy. Nosh King, everyone's cool
he
with
has
in this
actually
group.
asked you a question.
Hold up,
It
I
says
have
I can
not
read it.
seen them.
It's here in front of me. He's
Okay,
got it put beginner rocks, intermediate wood, expert bone. Is that correct?
no, expert could have crystals. Experts could have um wood. It just depends on the person. Me, on the other hand, where I like my knowledge, bone runes are the most powerful runes. The most powerful.
Okay.
And I would consider that more of a intermediate or expert to master. And I've been practicing runes for a while.
Okay. So with that as one of the materials in the making of a some of the runes, can it be something literally as simple as a deer antler?
It depends. I know some people use wolf teeth. I know some people use deer antler. I know some people use animal and animal fingers. It just depends, and it depends on how how you want it to be. I know I knew somebody that casted with not raccoon fingers. It was some type of animal, big animal with big fingers, but um he casted it on. He put the drew the runes on the bones and stuff. Very nice guy, very knowledgeable, but somebody I would not advise anybody to go to if you don't know what you're going to be throwing yourself into. But
Okay.
he used raccoon. No, that's too small, ain't it?
Yeah, they're little.
He used some type of
Some
finger bones,
some big
not
claw.
human. Yeah, not human, not human, but animal claw, animal paw. But it just depends on the caster. I like deer antlers because I'm a hunter. It brings back good memories, so that's why I want deer antler. Well, I'll use bare fingers, but yeah. What just happened?
You had froze. I could hear you talk, but you had
Okay,
froze.
where'd you lose me at?
Oh no, you were still talking. That you said the deer antlers because you like hunting, and you would use bear claws.
I will use bear claws. I would use deer forearms. Put them small enough to where uh, short enough to where you can put them in bags, and it just depends on the person and depends on their practice too.
So at a later time, which hopefully people will go back and rewatch these and learn, continue to learn. But let's say I learned this all well enough, and I'm ready to do a casting, but I haven't wanted to make my own runes because of the magic that you're putting into it.
Mm-hmm.
What would you suggest finding? Would you suggest finding somebody that has the knowledge to properly
I would
uh,
suggest to give somebody that has the knowledge their thing, but some people are very picky and they'll say, no, you need to do it yourself. Some people go in a more darker turn. Won't go. I'm going to use that as a term if that's okay with y'all. Some people will go down a darker path and use a more darker art way of doing it, so to say, where you have the Wicca, you have white magic, you have gray, you have green, you have black, and then you have gray magic. Gray magic is that fine line that's not that gray magic is a very fine line, very 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 fine line. I know a few people that follow the gray path and they use specific bone. Not going into detail.
let's find out one's on them. Okay. If I think of anything else, I'll ask in
I will.
next week's session.
That's fine. Um, no. But now that I'm a more intermediate rune reader to almost expert, I've learned to love, respect, and fear the runes. And not now. Let me explain. There's a difference between cowering and respectful fear. Respectful fear means okay, I respect them. I'm still going to use them, and the outcome may be good or bad. You've got like I knew a friend who was Christian. Uh, nobody knows on this chat or in the on the server, but I knew a buddy that tried to get a rune set, and this dude had the wrong type of runes. I mean, there are experts that know how to do these runes, and then there's people that just throw stuff together and say, "Okay, these are runes." One of my friends bought one of these rune sets that somebody that he did not know from Adam, somebody who didn't follow the path of a pagan or Norse pagan or whatever. Like he got it from somebody who just liked creating pretty art, and he wanted to use that as his rune set. Well, he showed me the runes, and there were a few wrong runes, and people that don't know what they're doing, putting whatever knowledge they have about them into it, and it backfires. I have a buddy. I knew somebody also that got the runes on his arm in a circle with like a Viking symbol because he wanted it to look cool. And this guy reversed every single one that could be reversed was reversed. Like this guy did not know what the hell he was doing, and this guy got this ink on him. Permanent tattoo, by the way. Permanent. You can't replace permanent. So always go to somebody that actually knows what they are doing, because if you don't, bad things happen. And I'm saying that from my own experiences. Leonic, do you have any questions? Or Pumpkin, do you have any questions? Take a chance, guys. Roll the dice.
Not really. I've just been listening and writing stuff down.
Um, Pumpkin, do you have any questions? You're welcome to come up and listen or chat. Well, I mean, you're family, so you're welcome to come up here and chat. But um, I will say this: anybody that is a beginner, do me a favor, and if you truly want to become a good rune reader, start from the beginning. Learn to crawl. Don't do what I've done. I was okay. I was that one guy that said, "Okay, I got runes. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna be doing it, and I'm gonna be getting it done. I'm gonna be doing good." Blah 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 blah. And being a beginner and trying to do rune reading as a beginner, the rune readings were horrible. They were off subject. And when we actually start going into rune reading, I will tell you what y'all need to know, because and this will help you differ between real rune readers and false rune readers. Just so y'all know. That's gonna be fun, ain't it, guys?
I look forward to it.
Um, but from a pagan practitioner, a Norse pagan practitioner, the runes, they are something that you don't want to mess with unless you really know what you're doing. Like I know I repeat that, but there's a reason why I'm emphasizing on this. It's because I didn't listen, and nobody told me what to do and what not to do. And most of my stuff was from trial and error on my part. Um, but I could tell you one of my favorite runes is Gibo. I'm just talking now, guys, because no questions are asking, so I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna give y'all what runes I like. I like Gibo. Gibo's gift. It's it could be gift of knowledge. It could be gift of a, a child, or something grand, or something very simple. That's why I like Gibo. Gibo is my favorite rune out of all the runes. Um, but what are what are y'all's fears about doing runing? Like, if do y'all are y'all afraid of this, or like I need to know so that I can help console those who are really worried about doing this and picking it up, because yes, this path is a hard path. It sounds horrible, but it is a very hard path. It'll The runes will tell you things that you didn't even know about yourself.
Don't have any yet, but as you know, with me, I'm still learning a lot.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I expect y'all to be like, okay, I'll ask this guy this on another question, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna slip up on something, and then you're gonna be like, wait, I have a question about that because it was about, but I have a question on that, but it's on about this rune, not the rune that we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that happen before. Like, the person I went to was an actual practicing Voiva, practicing witch. Like, she was a Norse pagan witch, and she went from being a runist to an oracleist. I don't know if that's the right word. The whole rune readings and stuff like that. Also, I'm back. Yeah, I don't need y'all hearing me lecturing my munchkins, little fur babies. But when I started runing, I was excited and practicing until I started learning that what the runes really were trying to tell me, and I went from being what I was, because when you're young and you're new, you just want to help the world. You want to help the world. You want to help people. You want to do the best that you can as a runist. But where I was basically running when I should have been crawling, I've done a couple rune rings on myself recently, and I'm doing a serious meditation on that, because the runes are saying something, and the runes are, well, the Norns, the fates talking to you, or the gods, and sometimes they really need to tell you something, and there's times where it makes no sense until a week later. Trust me on that. Leona, do you have any concerns, questions, knowledge? I mean, I'm looking for answering questions and stuff. Or Rooster, if you have any questions or concerns, lay them on me. I'm ready.
Believe it or not, since we've only done the first rune, you've answered material questions. You put up there, don't use black. Uh, I don't know if that's for material or just the ink.
Using black is bad. It is curse. Black is used in curses and hexes when it comes to rune magic. I'm not going into that yet,
Right.
but don't use black. Use red.
Uh, could I use gold? Like a gold ink?
Oh yeah, gold ink is fine. Just
Anything
don't.
other than black.
If you use black, you are asking bad things to happen. And if somebody gives me a black rune set that wasn't burned, like burned in wood,
Yeah.
I won't take them. I'll say, get them away from me. I revoke your gifts. I mean, if you're putting black on runes, there's something wrong with you, because everyone that have actually studied Viking history will say they have never used black black runes. They have never used black runes. Now there could be that one person that's like, oh, yeah, there is. Yes, there might be people that use black rune sets, but I won't
Mm-hmm.
for good good reasons.
Mm-hmm.
My reason is that black runes is, like I said, used in doing black rune sets, black rune castings, or anything like that. No, that. If you're a really knowledgeable runist, anyone that's knowledgeable runes will say, "Don't use black. Don't use black." There are reasons.
From my neck of the woods, then, I am out
Hold
of
on
question.
one real quick second. I'll be right back. Like I said, anyone that practices with black runes that are not burnt in wood, my opinion, I could be wrong, but those are the people that you kind of want to be cautious of. My opinion. I hope I was very informative for y'all because if you have any questions later on and you want to record them and ask them, I don't mind answering them in private message or private video chats or even this because I just want to help y'all become better runists if y'all decide to follow this path. It's it's not an easy path, guys. It's really not. Even though I can laugh and joke a lot, heavy is the weight of a person with knowledge. I know that sound. I don't even know if that's the right metaphor, but it rune reading, rune casting, rune magic is very taxing.
Well,
Like,
I do know, since this is for the our all encompassed tribe, pretty much, that the YouTube that this will be up on will be for all of them. I don't think outsiders will have access to it. Um, so I guess anybody could leave you comments in the in the video comment section that you could go back and look at and answer.
um, if y'all come across questions, write them down so that the next Thursday, which reminds me, I need to pull from the well for next Thursday, so y'all get to see this. Not my not my practitioner set, but it's still fun to pull from the well, ain't it, guys? So,
It's
ladies
gonna
and
be
gentlemen,
next week's rune.
yes. What do the gods want me to do next week? Yes, Ebo,
Sure.
my favorite rune.
Hmm. I guess I already have a question for next week then.
What? I can answer it now.
Uh, since the way that it's shaped and just like what the uh I can't remember the name, but the one that basically just a line. How would those have a reverse?
Ebo does not have a reverse, and I'll tell you why next week. Issa does not have a reverse. Um, Haglas is viewed as reversed, and there is no reverse on Haglas.
Hmm.
Sorry for another time. I'll explain it more
Yeah.
in a later class. But there are some runes that have no reverses. There is a few runes that are reversed, and they're not. They don't have a reverse, but they are read as reversed.
Okay.
Henceforth, uh, when we get into a later class, I'll tell y'all a story like down the road when y'all are a little more knowledgeable, when y'all are actually starting to practice the runing. I get to tell y'all stories and some horror story and one horror story with my rune reading. But um, yeah. Like I said, I wish I could do more. I would love to do more. Runes. It's just I know right now it's Block A, and we did Berkana, and oh yeah. About that. Hold on. Um, I'll get back with you on the alphabet on Berkana. I forgot. I was too busy trying to get the knowledge and know-how down, and I forgot to do the most simplest thing and tell you what alphabet it was. How
You're still
embarrassing.
recording and you still got 15 minutes before your hour's up.
I think Berkana is a B. I could be wrong. Let me double check. Um,
I just figured I'd throw that out.
yep, Berkana's a B. I was right. Here I am second guessing myself. Boy, I tell you. But
So, what makes it, other than the fact that it looks like a B?
there are certain things that look like one thing and could be another, and I'll be showing you that in a later class. I'm so sorry. I'm repeating myself. I'll show you in a later class. Blah 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 blah. I'm so sorry about this, guys. This is class A, and I believe me. I want to delve deep into it and then say, okay, this is this. This is why is this. But we only learn one rune. When we get into like eighth, ninth rune, then we can start. I can start delving more. But yeah, next week's rune is Gibo, ladies and gentlemen. I look forward to your class and meeting next week. Um, hopefully we'll have more people and hopefully have more questions. But no, I was just happy having the three or four that are listening in. I'm so happy about that.
Glad I was able to make it, and I hope I can make all the other ones.
If you need to, pull me aside if you can't, and I'll be like, okay, if I need to move it to this day, like on a day that you're off, let me know. I mean, I'm willing to teach, I'm willing to help people. I just need more people in so that those that are trying to become runists, rune readers, rune knowledge at least, and finally follow the path that they need to become more better than they were the day before. That is my goal for y'all, to make y'all become more better than what you were the day before.
And the me.
Hello, the Morgan. How are you?
I would have had more questions, but about everything I would have
Hello, Pumpkin. How are
asked
you?
have already been answered. So
So, do you have any questions for me? I don't know if you listened to the class or not. Rooster has recorded it,
Sorry
and he
about
will
that,
send it.
Leonic. I tend to come up with the question.
Yep,
I'll
it's
pardon my
fine
Take your
with
time.
me. I
Oh wait. Oh no, Pumpkin. Nah. Don't. No. You a mama. Uh. Rooster can pass you in, and then if you have any questions, no. I can redo it, but um, um, what time zone are you? So that I could be prepared. Okay, 7 Eastern Standard
six.
Time.
It is 6 o'clock for us because I'm Central Standard.
Yeah, Rooster, if you can share Sin, Pumpkin, and Morgana. Morgan,
Morgan.
sorry. I'm thinking Morgana. I'm sorry. I had somebody that said no, it's Morgana. Eh, no, 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 no. You don't understand. You do you I'm saying this out of joking. Do you understand how hard it is being me and everyone's like it's this, it's this? Have you joined the actual talk chat?
Pumpkin did
Because
that.
she is
Pumpkin, hold on.
watching.
Yep, Pumpkin did that the other day. Was sitting there talking and explaining something to somebody. Then all of a sudden, it dawned on her they weren't in voice. They couldn't hear.
Yeah, I've done that too, Pumpkin. Um, are you on Yeah, I know it sounds horrible.
Well, Leonic, were there any questions that I didn't ask that you're curious?
Oh yes, ask away, please, because the only dumb question's one that's not asked.
Uh, the only questions I have would be for after we actually learn everything, to be how to like actually start doing the readings. Right now, I'm just like writing
Like
everything. I
you're
have a
learning the
page for
basics.
each.
You are on your path to becoming a good runist. You just gotta give it time. I'm going to be testing y'all next week on what the rune what the of the rune this week, and have y'all do a rough summary of what y'all remember.
I got no.
Um, gotta get your notes, boys and girls, because if not, you fail.
That is
You
okay.
get.
I can pass everybody the notes that I took. Don't worry.
I expect that from y'all. I expect it. Like I'm excited. This is my first time teaching in a long time. Last time I was teaching somebody how to kick butt. Now I'm teaching people how to do rune reading.
Right
Ain't this
now,
a ain't this a small world?
now I'm I have what gonna be. Hope this thing is picking up my voice.
My,
It's in and out.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
in and out.
Uh, now I have a book of shadows, and I'm gonna have a page for each rune and what they do, the reverse does, and to
I'm
have everything
I'm
written down, and then how to actually do the rune readings on another one.
I will be teaching y'all how to do that. I'm going to do it slow by slow basis. I'm going to continue doing the rune readings and rune
Yeah.
teachings. I'm hoping within the next 10 years, y'all are still asking me about rune reading and runes. That is my goal. Like, hey, I know this rune, but I know you, like, I've got so much that's planned. It's just, I'm hoping it lasts a lot longer than at least a couple months. Because the only true master is one that, oh, like me, I still ask about the same runes over and over and over again to other people in my tribe. And they're like, well, I've already told you this. Like, well, yes, but I want you to continue remembering. The reason why I do that is so that I'm testing y'all to soon become to do what I'm doing. So if I say, hey, yeah, I forgot what Berkana was, it might be a test.
That we'd be able to turn right come up with. It is Berkana was the bee. It is growth, rebirth. It is a cycle rune of fertility. And if it's reversed, a warning.
It's a warning, or it could be stunted growth, or yeah. See, that's what I want. And I know it sounds weird, and I know y'all probably gonna get tired of it, but it's to keep y'all on your feet to become what. And if you're going to events and doing rune reading in your own city, state, location, y'all know what to do and then hopefully y'all can come back and say, "Hey, we went to a festival in BFE, and it was amazing. We did great, or I did great, or my family did great." Hearing your success stories is my goal. I may be old and gray one day, but I at least want to be remembered for my knowledge. While I still have my knowledge. As you know, when you get old, sometimes you kind of go a little. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Getting up there too, and kids do that to you. Also,
How old are you?
I am 35.
Blah. You're only 2 years. Wait, yeah, you're only 2 years older than me.
He's got to stop. I'll be 36 this. I like that. You had to stop and count.
Yep, I tell you what.
I tell you what, you yans.
So, pumpkin. Even though you come in at the end of it, you have a question about what today's rune was. Oh, never mind. She said she'll come up with questions once she watches the class. I have it,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna send it to you first. And if you say yay or nay, you'll have it. I have it. When you tell me it's
I
uploaded, I'll get
hope.
rid of it.
I hope at least y'all that were in my class were knowledge and can say yes, this guy is legit. He studies his stuff because where I wouldn't be where I am today, be unless I had to learn from my falling and failing and a few other issues that I've had in my life. But now I know that dark I know, but I just wish I had listened to if people were when people were teaching me, I wish I had just listened rather than just rush and do the things that I did and then have to go back and say, "Hey guys, you know what about what we talked about? Yeah, you're right. Well, how do you know?" Well, I was dumb, and yep, everything happens when somebody says, "Okay, I was dumb and I did this." I mean, who hasn't said that?
Yeah, remember that thing you told me not to do because the thing would happen if I did that thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that thing
I did
happened,
that.
but on a grander scale.
I did that thing, and on today's episode of How
I
Fucked Up is Fucked Up.
No, it's like on today's episode on how badly did I royally fuck myself. We are going to learn about this. Hi, Morgana, and welcome. Or Morgan, sorry.
It's okay.
I swear, I swear, I swear, officer, I didn't drink much today.
It's all right.
But Rooster has the class. If y'all have any questions, I'm doing class on the next. What's today? Thursday? Yeah. Sorry, I have memory problems, guys. But next Thursday we are going to be doing Gibo, and I'll tell y'all that is one of my favorite runes. That's the only rune I look forward to is Gibo because exactly, exactly, Leonic. I want y'all to look back 10 years, by heck, even a few years. Look back and say, you know, you taught me well, and now I'm going to teach you something. And then you become the teacher, and I become the student. Oh, I look forward to that. When the teacher can say, "Go forth, my children, and fly," the best thing ever.
If if there's no other questions or whatever, I'll go ahead and end this recording so it'll get itself wrapped up for you.
Thank you so much, Rooster, for recording. You are a badass.